and a sample of this form will be shown to you as we go along. Once you have completed the registration form, you will be expected to submit it to the GHOS Secretariat, where you will be given a unique ID number. Now, we realize that already, as a Teachers Fund member, you have a fund ID number. And so we thought that to make it easier for you to remember what your GHOS ID number is, we will just prefix your Teachers Fund ID with the letters GHOS. That way, you will always remember your ID number because you already know your Teachers Fund number quite well. Now, there are certain key requirements for membership registration. So in addition to the form that you will fill, you will also submit one current passport size picture. You will provide on the form your fund ID, which is your Teachers Fund ID, and your staff ID number. Kindly make sure that these numbers are the same as you have on your Controller and Accountant General payslip. This is because all the records there will be cross-confirmation of all these records, and we must make sure that everything is synchronized. If there is any difference, your form will not be processed. You will have to go back and start the process again. So please make sure that your fund ID number and your staff ID numbers that you put on the registration form are correct. We will also expect you to attach a photocopy of your NAT ID and a valid national photo ID. In addition to this, please attach your current payslip and provide details of your beneficiary. The details of the beneficiary must agree with the details as the beneficiary has it on their own ID, because in the event that they have to make a claim on your account, the beneficiary must produce an ID which reflects the same name in the same order as you have given us on your application form. Please provide your correct date of birth. This is very important. This date of birth will be cross-checked against what you have with your employer and what you have with SNIT, and what you have with Teachers Fund. So kindly make sure that your date of birth is correct. Provide your bank account details and provide your preferred region for construction or purchase of your house. This is very important because it will help us to determine where we are going to buy land and what the size of that land will be, as well as where we are going to need to construct the houses. Please make sure that your telephone number, which in most cases will be your mobile phone number, and your email address are correct. This is because we will be communicating with you a lot electronically through your telephone and through your email. And finally, make sure that you sign the form. Here is a sample of the GHOS membership registration form, which you will receive once you take a decision to become a member of GHOS. Membership will require that you make monthly contributions to the scheme. There are two types of contributions. There is the minimum contribution, which is mandatory, and then there are optional contributions. The minimum contributions have been structured such that teachers at various levels within the structure of the profession will be able to find a comfortable spot where they can fix themselves and make their monthly contributions. So for teachers who are below the age of 35, as at the time of submission of their application form, will contribute a minimum monthly amount of 50 Ghana cedis. For teachers who are over 35 years old, they will contribute a minimum of 100 Ghana cedis per month. This is just the minimum. And as you know, housing is expensive. So we have created the flexibility for you as members to contribute optional additional amounts to your monthly contribution, which will go into your account. For the optional contributions, we have not set any limits. So you are free to contribute as much as you like. You are also free to make the contributions from your other sources of income. They don't have to come from your salary. Now, once you have completed the registration form, for your deductions to start from the Controller and Accountant General, you will be required to complete the necessary authorized forms that the Controller needs. These are the authority note and the deduction form. When you are submitting your authority note and deduction form, please remember to provide another pay slip, another copy of your pay slip, and a passport size picture. This is because these documents will go to the Controller and Accountant General, and therefore we will not keep them at the Secretariat. So this is separate from the pay slip and the passport size picture that you attach to your membership registration form. Once your forms have been received and have been processed, they will be submitted to the Controller and Accountant General. And you should expect that within a month, the deductions will start from your salary. In the event that Controller over-deducts from your salary, kindly complete an over-deduction form and submit it through your district secretary to the GHOS Secretariat. If you do not have the over-deduction form, kindly write a letter to GHOS through your district secretary, and this will be submitted to the Secretariat so that we can make sure that the over-deduction stops and we refund any amounts over-deducted to you as quickly as possible. Now, as a member, you will receive reports from GHOS. Now, you will find that once you join the scheme, in the beginning, you will not have received a loan. Loans will only come into existence once you have contributed for the minimum 18 months. And so whilst you have not applied for a loan, you will receive a statement which is a contribution statement. It is an annual statement, and it will show you exactly how much you have contributed as at the time the statement is printed and how much your contribution is worth. This means that it will show you the interest you have earned on your contribution as well. Now, when we move into the loan arena, where you have taken a loan, then you will receive a loan statement. And this loan statement will indicate how much you have borrowed. It will indicate how much you have repaid within the period that the statement covers. And it will also show you how much is still outstanding and yet to be paid. Now, a member, as we know, can leave the scheme, because for everything that you join or you enter, there should be an opportunity to exit. So we have made arrangements for you to be able to leave the scheme under the following conditions. Now, in the first place, there is the possibility that you can leave the scheme automatically. How does this work? This works when you have successfully applied for a loan, received the loan in the form of your house, fully repaid the loan, and then you are allowed to leave. This is automatic because this scheme is not expected to hold on to members after they have completed repayment of the loans for their houses. The second way in which you can exit the scheme is either because you die or because you become incapacitated. Now, incapacity can be permanent or temporary, but once this situation happens, then there may be cause for a member to leave the scheme. The other way that a member can leave the scheme is if they voluntarily decide to leave the scheme. When it comes to exiting, as I said earlier, automatic exit means that you have successfully taken a loan and fully repaid it. When it comes to death and incapacity, it can happen either before you take a loan or after you take a loan. When you have not taken a loan, you are still in what we call the contribution phase. In that situation, when a member dies, your beneficiary that you have indicated on your application form or your membership registration form will be required to provide the following documents to enable them make a claim on your account. They will be required to provide a passport size picture. They will be required to provide proof of death of the member, and they will be expected to provide a valid ID. These are the things that will have to be verified to enable us make the payment of the proceeds of your contribution and its interest it has earned to your beneficiary. In the event that a member becomes incapacitated during the contribution phase and therefore is either unable to work or chooses to exit from the scheme, the member will be expected to complete an exit form and attach a passport size picture, a current one, as well as a current pay slip. These will be required to enable us process the member's documentation and request and pay all contributions plus interest earned to the member. Now, death or incapacity can also happen after a member has taken a loan. This phase is called the repayment phase. When a member is in the repayment phase, then the insurance policy which the member would have taken on application of the loan will trigger, and whatever the benefits the insurance policy will provide will be given to the member. So where the insurance policy covers full payment or full repayment of the member's loan, the insurance company will make sure that they do that. When a member voluntarily decides to leave the scheme during the contribution phase, they will have to complete an exit form, attach a current passport size picture and a current pay slip, and they will be paid all contributions plus interest earned. Where the member voluntarily decides to leave the scheme under the repayment phase, then the member will complete the exit form, attach the passport size picture, attach the most current pay slip, and also meet the other conditions that will be set by the board. The reason for other conditions being set by the board is because at this phase, the member has actually been allocated a house, and the member will then have to take steps, and the scheme will also have to take steps to repossess the house and possibly sell, or whatever the arrangements that the board puts in place be met. So make sure that your application is received with the necessary attachments, and it will be processed, and it will have to meet the conditions that the board sets. Here is an example of your exit form that you will be required to fill if you decide to exit the scheme. How will the fund grow? How are we going to fund the building of these houses? How are we going to fund the acquisition of land? How are we going to fund the creation of these teacher enclaves, residential enclaves that we are envisaging?